YouTube channel. My name is Ryan. In this video, I'm kind of going to break down this trade that I sent out for the signals chat and mentorship chat for GJ. This trade was beautiful, and I kind of want to hop on YouTube and kind of show you guys how this trade played out and what happened, what I look for, and things like that. So this video is probably going to be titled something with fair value gaps, because the fair value gaps are very, very powerful. In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how powerful they could be when you use them the correct way. All right. So basically what I seen was, actually, I'm going to start off on a 4-hour chart because that's what I did the first time. So what I did was I started on the 4-hour chart, and I noticed this 4-hour order block that was created here. Beautiful. Right. So when I see an order block created, I always want to look for some type of imbalance or fair value gap around the order block. Right. So the order block was created here. Right. And then I dropped down to the 1-hour chart, and I noticed that the fair value gap was also right here that needed to be filled. All right. So for those of you that don't know what a fair value gap is or kind of struggling with that, well, fair value gaps are basically the gap in the market once a strong move occurs. So just to kind of make it simpler, after a move happens like this, a nice strong move, it leaves a gap in the market, right? A gap in price. So you see this wick right here was the last time price, this is where price closed around, right? The highest price went, and this is where the lowest price went after this candle formed. So basically it leaves this gap in between from this wick here and this wick here, okay? Making this a fair value gap. Price has to come back and rebalance price. So for example, price takes off, which it did here, took off strongly, and now it left the market unbalanced, right? Leaving inefficiency of price. Price has to be efficient, right? So it left price empty here, right? Some type of price move has to come back in here and rebalance the market, rebalance price to make the market go back in order, right? Go back to normal. So this fair value gap was created, and it left an empty space in the market. Okay, an empty space. So when you see a move like this, a strong move occurs, and then you see a wick here and a wick here, it creates that gap. Now, say for example, you don't see this gap, right? So what makes something not a fair value gap is when basically, say this wick here and this wick here was touching. So let's say basically, let me kind of draw an example for you guys real quick. So let's say for example, we have a nice strong move right before, and I'm gonna just make this a wick here. Okay, and then basically right after that, we have that strong impulsive move like I was talking about, right? And then right after that, we have another candle coming back down. Okay, now what makes it invalid or not a fair value gap is when basically there's no gap that needs to be filled. So basically, if price comes up into here, I'm gonna move this like right around here, there's no gap, right? So now look at this, there's no gap right here, right? Because look, price is touching on both sides, so there's no gap in between here. All right, now if price doesn't do that, right, so now smoothie's back a little bit, move it back down. Now we have a gap in the market that price needs to rebalance. Okay, you get what I'm saying? So after a strong move occurs and it leaves that gap, look for price to come back into that area, right? Come back into this area, and then obviously buy out of it, right? Or vice versa, if it was the other way around, sell out of it. Okay, so this is the gap. See how there's a gap here, right? There's an empty space. But if it was like this, if it was like that, let me delete this off. If it was like that, that means there's no fair value gap. Okay, because there's no empty space that needs to be filled here. Okay, so now going back to the chart, now you can see what I'm talking about. So now you see the empty space here. Price has to come back into here. Okay, has to come back to the fair value gap and rebalance price. Okay, so that's how I use it, right? So now basically the next thing I did was I pulled out my fib and I measured the low to the high, and I wanted to realize or see, was we in a premium or a discount. Okay, so premium is anywhere above the 50%. So this is the seller's area, right? So you should not be looking for buys in a premium, right? Because that's where a lot of people are still looking to sell lower. Okay, now you're looking for buys and a discount anywhere underneath the 50%. So the way you do is you measure the low, the swing low to the swing high, and you're looking for setups underneath the 50%, right? Because that is where most people are looking to enter or look for buys in that sense. So anywhere underneath the 50% is your area where you should be looking for your setup. All right, so the fair value gap setup was underneath the 50% at a discounted price, which means that if price comes down into this fair value gap, I have a higher chance of price buying from there, because not only is it in a discount, it's coming back to rebalance price. Okay, that's what you want to do. And on top of me doing that, I also added my Fibonacci, the OTE, right? Shout out to ICT, right? OTE, and bam. You see how the 70.5 and 79% is also aligned with the fair value gap itself. Okay, so when those two things align, for me personally, this would make me love to trade more. So this is why I sent this trade out and took this trade. So basically, the fair value gap and the OT also line up, and remember, price is also underneath equilibrium at a discount. So that means that everything that we just said is aligned, and everything is perfect for us to look for entries inside of this fair value gap. Okay. Hope this is making sense to y'all that's watching. And like I said, my target was liquidity. I was targeting this high here. Like I said, this trade is still running and up and going, but I was targeting this high up here, right? This pool of money up here that needs to be taken up. All right. So now if I press play and let the trade play out, price comes into it, gives a nice little wick, right? Right at the entry of the fair value gap. And typically, sometimes I don't always have my stop loss at the end of it. I like to have my stop loss like here, but this time I just kind of took a risk here because I wanted a tighter SL. Because sometimes price may fill the whole entire gap and then buy out of it, but that was just the risk I was willing to take. Okay, so other than that though, typically you want to have your stop loss probably like underneath that wick of the fair value gap, like somewhere here. Or sometimes you want to have it here, but that was an 80 pip stop. I wasn't really looking to risk that much. So I was just, I was just fine with taking this right here. All right. And then once again, price comes into there, and then we get a nice buy from GJ. And you can see how price comes up and just skyrockets out of it, which was a nice trade. Like I said, this trade is still currently running. I'm looking to take it up to this 161 mark, but right now the market is closed, and this is where we're currently at. All right. So I hope this video helped you guys with fair value gaps, like a little small demonstration of it. I think my next video I'm going to show you guys is a matter of fact, I'm gonna just save it. I'm gonna surprise you guys with the next video. But I have a nice concept I want to show you guys, and another thing that can help you guys with your trading. But other than that though, this was basically the GJ trade. And this trade went for approximately from entry 148 pips, almost $1.50 right there on GJ, which was a beautiful trade. All right. But if you're interested in my mentorship or my signals chat, you can look in the bio. I said the bio. You can look in the description of the video. And you can also follow me on IG to kind of see my results and things like that if you're interested in that. I charge very cheap. I don't overcharge for this stuff. I just do it for fun, basically. So if you're interested in anything like that, just let me know. But other than that, y'all, this is the trade. I hope this video helped you guys in any way, shape, or form. Until then, see you guys in the next video. Take care.